justice and peace and equality.
Game Changers Magazine, Game Changers Media Network, Voices of the Village podcast, where change starts with conversation. And today we have the next generation leaders of today, Mr. Jaden Williams with us. How you doing, Jaden?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
Man, it's awesome to have you here and awesome to, catch you because you're on the run, you're on the go. You just graduated from Clark Atlanta
Yes, sir.
University, find a way to make one. Tell us how you feel, man.
I'm happy. 4 years are up, but it made me want to go back into education, so I'm pushing more, hopefully for a master's and a doctorate degree.
Okay. What inspired you to go to Clark Atlanta?
Oh man, I tell the story all the time. It's so funny. Me and my mom was actually on tour from Morehouse.
Okay.
Like right in the middle of the tour, we just made a look at each other like, where are we? And we walked off, like we just ditched the tour.
Okay.
Ended up on Clark's campus right before they started a campus tour.
Okay.
We jumped on their tour, and next thing you know, I looked at her, she looked at me, and I was like, yeah, this is my school.
This your school? Clark Atlanta has a rich history of producing entrepreneurs, leaders, community organizers, new generation leaders. How did Clark Atlanta University mold you into the young man you are today to get you to walk this path? Even though before you were going to Clark, you were already on this path. So how did it enhance it, man?
One thing I can say about Clark is once you decide on your major and your department kind of brings you in, It gives you that sense of hominess because you're with the class that you're going to be with probably the rest of your 4 years, but it also connects you with alum that brings you that extra strength, that extra power to kind of keep going, keep pushing, keep pressing. And honestly, I did SGA, White House Scholar, all of that good stuff at Clark. So that just kind of built me even more because there was a standard already set from our peer institutions, Clark College and Atlanta University.
Okay.
So a precedent that's already set, you just kind of got to keep going with it.
Awesome. Now you were the SGA president. Am I correct? Or what? You played a role in some of the student government body. Is that correct?
I was SGA treasurer.
Okay.
Freshman class president, and I was a senator.
Okay. And what is that experience like going to Clark Atlanta, playing those roles, because it's young people that's watching the show, listening to the show, that's looking and say, hey, man, I don't want to go to college.
Yeah.
And we're influenced by all type of vices. The internet is doing certain sorts of things. But how prestigious is it for you to take that HBCU experience and, inspire young people to go in that direction?
I kind of cut it just a little bit more in my experience because what we don't see is black men going to HBCUs.
Okay.
And so to see black men in leadership like myself, it kind of just pushed the game a little bit harder for me and really the next generation that's coming behind me.
Okay.
I was the first male to be a sophomore to serve on SGA.
Okay.
So that already set a precedent because now sophomores can't be on SGA at all. Being the freshman class president, I went against 5 people. I think 4 of the guys and 1 girl. She came in second.
Okay.
But when you have a school that's 70% girls and 30% boys, it's a certain standard that black men have that we kind of got to push a little bit harder on top of the injustices not just our institution may put on us, but the world puts on us in general.
Right.
So my HBCU experiences going along with that, it just kind of showed me this is what you said earlier, find a way to make one.
Right.
And then of course our other motto, which is culture for service.
Okay.
Your culture comes with how much service you put into the world.
Awesome. Now the HBCU experience allowed you to meet a lot of people, allowed you to grow, allowed you to make connections outside of your hometown of Henry County. You were a big networker in Henry County, so I can imagine you in the city of ATL.
Oh yeah.
How important was it for you to establish relationships with the people that you established relationships with in order to get the leverage that you have today in the community?
Well, always public service comes with networking.
Okay.
So if you don't network, you might not go too far in public service.
Okay.
But for me, I can tell you, I knew going to Atlanta because Henry County is different, right? Henry County, you can go and meet somebody at Merle Manders or in the square.
Okay.
And that's an easy talk. You in it for a minute.
Okay.
But when it comes to Atlanta, you don't know who you're going to meet, when you're going to meet them, how you're gonna meet them, or if you can even get to the other side of security to talk to them.
Right.
So you really had to play your cards right. I mean, I was grateful enough to kind of be in rooms with some colleagues that I've made in Atlanta that allowed me to have the mayor of Atlanta's number, have access to former Mayor Shirley Franklin, talk to Ambassador Young constantly because his wife is a trustee at Clark. And so just having those kind of small opportunities to kind of advance, and they remember you the more they see you.
Right.
Just those networking key points like really push my name, but it also pushed people to see what I do in the community, my service, and that's the number one thing I want them to see.
And your resume of leadership really spoke for itself.
Just a little bit.
Now, Henry County, you're back in Henry County. You're back in Henry County. I mean, it's a new climate in Henry County from what it was from 2012 to 2017 to 2020 to now to 2025. What is the climate of Henry County, and where are we now as a state of a county? What direction are we going in?
I could not give you a direction right now.
Okay.
I'm back in Henry County, but I never left from doing the work.
Okay.
Right? Serving on the Planning Commission in Stockbridge, of course, having family on the county level, and multiple municipal levels. I can tell you a lot of, outside of some of our other municipal communities, we're kind of at a standstill.
Okay.
Because you have the elected officials pushing a purpose or a goal that they want to set.
Right.
But what we're missing is we're dismissing the thoughts and opinions of the community.
Okay.
And I don't think as a community we can go forward and say that our state is strong or our state is steady without understanding what our current residents want, but also making sure we're bringing in the new residents and giving them a voice to voice their concerns at the same time.
Right, because Henry County is almost at 300,000 people now.
Yeah.
I mean, I walk in Walmart and I see people I don't even know, and I'm like, okay, where are these people coming from?
Yeah.
And I believe you're right. I believe we've established a government that has somewhat kind of given you things that weren't necessarily communicated by the people who live here. What effect does that play on the community and the leadership when it comes to the leadership and community connecting in that area?
Well, one, it never looks good on the leadership when you don't speak to the community.
Okay.
Never. Because these are the same people that are electing you in these offices.
Okay.
But it causes issues because now we have to look at, and to be quite frank, our roads.
Okay.
We got to widen our roads. We need to improve our roads because I feel like when I was coming home, I'm back in Atlanta because we got so many potholes and stuff coming out.
Yeah.
But we also have to look at what effects does it have on multiple departments, and while yes, some of them are their own entities.
Okay.
How are we not benefiting them?
Right.
And so, for example, our schools, Henry County schools.
Okay.
We're bringing all of these new developments in, these new houses, these new townhomes.
Okay.
But have we actually sat down and accommodated our comprehensive plans with the Board of Education to make sure that the schools can accommodate these new families coming into the community?
Correct.
That's an issue because even like my school, Dutchtown, we are the largest school in the county.
Okay.
But we still have to add, and we have a whole annex.
Yes.
How do we build an annex and we have to bring trailers back just to accommodate our classrooms?
Come on, man.
So we have to have these conversations, especially with our leaders,
yes,
because they're the ones making the decisions.
Right, and and one of the main reasons I believe a lot of people moved to Henry County was the education system. It drove it, but I believe right now the educational system is facing so many challenges of lack of teachers, resources in the classroom, at the actual school, or even just having enough schools to accommodate all the people that are moving here.
Absolutely.
And what effect does that play on education?
It's hard because I graduated 21 from Dutchtown, and I chose to come to Dutchtown. I was in Clayton County in middle school and elementary school, and so I'm coming from. I'm like, okay, it's not as warm as you would have it in Henry County, but I can tell you the education is slipping because a lot of our students aren't getting that. What's the word? They're not getting that homey. I can come up to my teacher and ask. They're getting a collegiate experience before they get the understanding of what they're grasping.
Oh man,
it's more of like a lecture.
Yes.
Rather than an impromptu, you're in a classroom with one or two teachers and you can have the conversation to understand and not just to say you got the information.
Now, the effect that it's funny that you say that because we have elected officials who get on social media and, say, oh, we got this coming, we have this coming, Henry County's growing, we're building more apartments, we're building more townhouses, and I mean, it seems like the people like it, engage with it. But like you said, man, it's problems here that another side of the internet is saying, yo, this is bogus. So tell us about that, man.
But honestly, it's really not much to say. You kind of summed it up.
Okay.
You got half and half. But the only thing that I would say with the half that we say, I guess, is opposed to it,
Okay.
is the simple fact that they don't understand it.
Right.
If our leaders would just simply say what it is,
Okay.
fully transparent, open up and allow community meetings and community opportunities, you may not have the opposing side. You may have some people like, it's okay, but I'm still not, I go to it every now and then.
Yeah.
But you have a majority affirmative in that position because you've told them exactly what you're doing.
Okay.
I had that issue all the time on the planning commission because I have a developer come up and he'll go, I said, well, did you have a community meeting? Because did you talk to the neighborhood beside this place that you're trying to be?
Yeah.
And they'll go, no. I said, well, why are we talking right now?
I mean, come on, man. It's because people buy homes in Henry County, and they feel like, hey, I want to get away from the city. I want to create a family. Mm-hmm. But next door, or the next subdivision next door, a corporation has bought that whole subdivision and now is renting it and renting out houses. They're buying all the houses out, renting out the houses, and it's almost like, okay, what's the value of being a homeowner
exactly.
in Henry County?
Yeah.
How the homeowners?
We used to be a retirement county.
Okay.
This was meant to be a retirement, suburban, single family, 2 kids max kind of community. That's what Henry County was meant for.
Okay.
Now that we're moving into, and not just Henry County, Metro Atlanta, period, all of the counties really are trying to move into mini Atlantas around Atlanta because of the area at which we are, like how far we are from Atlanta.
Gotcha.
It takes a pause because just like you said, they put, let's say they put up these new $350,000 townhomes, and nobody comes to buy them. You sat there and built them, so now you got to find another solution, and the next solution is I'm gonna drop the price, I'm gonna make it for rent,
right?
And now we're just letting anything come into the county.
Oh well, okay. So, and I agree with you with that. But we have a board of commissioners who are talking, who say, hey, this is their land. So what I'm hearing, just off the Chitlin circuit, you know what I mean? Because I stay in the streets, but the old regime is selling and leasing their land to developers, warehouses, people who can building new homes, whatever you want to build on, they're leasing the land to them. And the commissioners are saying we can't stop them from selling their land and developing what they, but can they stop what you build on that land? I mean, how do we say push this thing back and say, hey?
So they can't stop them from selling.
Okay.
That's correct. That's free will for the applicant and the owner. Okay. But when it comes down to what's being built, they can absolutely stop that. Because let's say Peter goes to buy Jessica's property and her house is on it. Okay. But he wants to build commercial residence, or not commercial residence, but some commercial spaces on it. Okay. You would have to change the overlay for that because it's commercial for residents. It's not commercial or advertised for commercial area. Commercial area. Okay. So now they have to come back to the zoning committee, or I know for Cyber, this planning and zoning commission. I think the county, it's the zoning advisory board. Okay. And they have to make a decision, and I don't know how it is for the county, but I know for us, we are a recommending body to the mayor and council. Okay. They still have to come back and do their application review for the mayor and council, who will also make the final decision. Okay. But they have the power to stop what's being developed. They even have the power to tell them what they can do within their development. Okay. If you give me a layout and say, I want to put 50 houses, I can say, no, cut it to 30, and you can take it or leave it. Oh, wow. They have the power to do that and demand what they want and demand what they don't want. Okay. Because it's all about what you want your city to look like. And I know multiple leaders are looking at the comprehensive plans rather than looking at the actual area as if we don't live in it.
Yeah.
To actually do stuff. So we're looking at paper, we're not looking at the physical body of the community.
Because it seems like Henry County's turned into a builder's playground.
It is.
Okay.
It's free for all.
And I mean, we're getting a lot of people. We're getting people moving here. The schools are overcrowded. Quality of life was very important for the people in Henry County moving here during that time when the game was actually changing. I believe the game has changed here again. But it's a new aura, and quality of life. Are the people of Henry County, are the people of Metro Atlanta, Henry County getting the actual resources and quality of life that they actually dreamed of? Like we thought we were getting like Papados, we thought we were getting like some upscale restaurants, but it seems to be gas stations, Mexican restaurants. I mean, it's a few here and there. We don't want to say Henry County is not growing,
right,
but let's be realistic. It's a Mexican restaurant on every corner. You know what I mean? A gas station on every block. You know what I mean? Did we sign up for this?
No, we didn't. That's funny you said it, because you put it out just plain and blunt,
yeah.
like that. But I would say the quality of life is different from when I first got into politics in Henry County.
Okay.
That was like 2016, 2017.
Okay.
Because the standards were different.
Okay.
But as times go, I know standards upgraded with time.
Okay.
I can tell you now for a fact, I think, and I'm not speaking for them.
Right.
I'm not speaking for no elected official, but I can say they may be building a lot, or we may bring a lot of builders in because they want to bring those qualities of life, and they may have a standard.
Okay.
That they want. Like they, for example, let's say Topgolf. Let's say Topgolf say they won't come unless the county has 400,000 people. And that's just an example. Like, I know it's a lot of companies that know their worth. And so for them to come to smaller, rural, urban, whatever you want to call Henry County nowadays anyway, they have to have, checked off their certain standards.
Okay.
But it's also the simple fact of what are our leaders pushing to them to entice them to want to come? Or are we just sending a regular request, hey, we'd love to have you come? Or are we showing you the benefits of our community?
Are we showing? And I 100% agree with you on that. And just taking a look at that is like, I know you just traveled down 218 to get, like, man, it probably took 30 minutes just to get to the studio, right?
Oh, yeah.
From the traffic. And with Henry County growing, Black leadership, African American leadership here. We were adamant about transferring the leadership. I believe it was 2016 to 2020, where it was, we want to turn the county blue. That was the message. That was the message that was pushed,
Yeah.
2025, the county is blue. African American people are the majority in political positions. Where are we now? What are the millennials saying? What are the young people saying? I mean, is this what they paid for? Is this what they voted for?
I would absolutely tell you on behalf of the young people.
Uh-huh.
I've asked people.
Okay.
I said, would you come back to Henry County to live? Absolutely not.
Wow.
And it's not the leaders.
Okay.
Now they may disagree with most of the leaders.
Okay.
But it's the simple fact of just like what I said. What are the benefits? Like, what am I getting from my community outside of if I was 12 and under that are really pulling me back to Henry County?
Okay. Okay.
And I can speak on behalf of this too, but I love Henry County so much. This is why I'm still here.
Okay.
I don't see it.
Okay.
I don't see the benefit. And when we did this survey, I actually did a survey for my senior thesis.
Okay.
To determine this. Like, I looked at Henry County, I looked at Clayton, I looked at Atlanta, I looked at Rockdale.
Okay.
Because I wanted to see what young people are saying about this area.
Right.
And Metro Atlanta has a lot of work to do if they plan on getting the next adults, the next young professionals to come into their communities to actually boom their economy.
Maybe it was like they were sold dreams that, and everybody wanted to come to Atlanta though. Like, I remember growing up in Jessup, Georgia. Like, I just want to go to Atlanta. I want to go to school. I want to be in the Black Mecca. And it's kind of like, you travel other places and you say, hey man, quality of life is a little bit, they got a little something here.
Now the funny thing is, when we talk about Atlanta,
Okay.
Atlanta, Let me tell you, Atlanta is its own state, I feel like, in Georgia. Okay? I don't even classify it as a city.
Okay.
Just the way that the whole city moves along, it's
Okay.
its own state.
Yeah, definitely.
But I know for a fact, when I'm in Atlanta, when I was in Atlanta for school,
Okay.
these past 4 years, everybody's like, no, I'm going to move out to like Buckhead. I'm going to move out to Fairburn, Rockdale.
Yeah.
Then I announced I'm running for office
Okay.
in Stockbridge.
Okay.
I hear people looking up Stockbridge. Oh, y'all rent is cheaper in Stockbridge. Oh, I can do this a month. I can,
Yeah.
okay, I'm close to a gas station. I can get right on the highway to Atlanta. Because Atlanta's growing just as much as we are.
Mm-hmm.
We are now the backups to find accommodations to get to Atlanta.
Okay.
So we're not accommodating in our community still. We're just easy access for them to get to home and to Atlanta and back.
yeah, definitely. And so, and it's interesting that you said that with the new condos being built, with the new apartments being built. Now, we know Henry County would kind of bridge from, okay, growing up to about 12 to 13 years old. It's everything to do. It's everything to do. And if you're 35 with a family living here, perfect place.
Mm-hmm.
What's missing in that gap between that 12 and 35? Because it seems to be nothing for them. Like, I don't see with you. You just mentioned you're running for office. You know, how important was it to bring that crowd, you know, through the condos and apartments and everything?
I think the number one goal is not just anybody, which
Okay.
is what we should be accommodating, but we're accommodating young professionals specifically, which I think is very interesting. And I question it a lot, but I leave it to our current leaders.
Okay.
Because that's their method to their madness.
Okay.
But if we specifically target young professionals, we're leaving out young professionals that got it.
Okay.
They just don't appreciate the quality of life, and they don't appreciate the amenities that come within this community. And so if we're just offering them concert every now and then with people from 1999 and up,
Oh man.
who are we accommodating?
Correct.
Because I'm going to be honest, I mean, shout out to the amphitheater, I guess, but
Yeah.
I don't want to go see Babyface and Silk Baby and Butter People. You know, I don't want to see them. I want to see a good Jasmine Sullivan. I want to try to get Usher out here for, you know. Like,
Well, they claim they selling out. I mean, if
they're
you
going to sell out for
Okay.
the older generation, because you got to remember, we're still evolving from just
that.
majority older to a mixed multi-generational community.
Okay.
But it's still the fact that most of the people that go, while they selling out, it's not the people from here in county.
Okay. Well, what we're going to do, we're going to go to a commercial break. And we're going to talk about Stockbridge. We're going to talk about the amphitheater because, you know, it was a lot going on at the city council meeting. And we got to talk about that. We're going to keep it high. You guys stay tuned. We got Jaden Williams on on Voice of the Village podcast running for mayor of Stockbridge. Game Changers Media Network, Game Changers Magazine, Voices of the Village podcast, where change starts the conversation.
Justice and peace and equality.